Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your Imposter Syndrome reading. If you're feeling out of sorts, like you don't belong, like you're not deserving, or otherwise confused in life, keep watching. We're going to try and get to the bottom of it. So we're going to start first by pulling a couple of oracle cards just to see what energy is surrounding this reading for you. And the first card that we have out for you is Damara, guiding children. You are good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. Let's pull another. Lord, we're just knocking stuff over. All right, let's pull another one and see what other energies are surrounding my Sagittarius collective right now. What other energies are surrounding my Sagittarius collective for this reading? And we have summer, bask in joy and light. So what I'm getting immediately, Saggies, is that there is a need for a return to innocence with you. So maybe a few of you out there actually do work with children. Maybe you're a teacher or a nanny or whatever, but it almost feels as though there's a need for you to more heal and work with your inner child as opposed to specific kids out here in this world. Because with summer, basking in joy and light, it makes me think of the sun card in tarot, where you have this, baby who's on a horse, who's feeling the sun on their face. It's really about purity. It's about innocence. It's returning to that childlike wonderment and joy and excitement when you encounter new things. It feels like for a lot of my Sagittarius, it's like I've been through too much to go back, and it's like, maybe, but maybe not. I think that there is an opportunity for you to recapture that feeling of experiencing things again for the first time and being absolutely amazed at the magic that there is in this world. It feels like you lost that for a little bit, but it might be time for you to get that back. So let's get into some tarot and see what other messages we can get for you from Spirit. So starting out looking at why you're in this place. Why do you feel like an imposter, like you shouldn't have things, like you're not worthy? We have the 10 of Swords in reverse. This is profound hurt. So the 10 of Swords, when it's upright, is it's this feeling of betrayal. It's a feeling of being backstabbed. There's a lot of disappointment that comes with this card. And just because cards are in reverse doesn't necessarily always mean that it's the complete opposite of the upright meaning. This can be an exacerbation. It can be a heightening of the upright meaning. And so, Saggies, I feel like you've been wrecked at some point. You have absolutely been wrecked, and I just heard tainted. And so it feels like you might think that somehow because of your experiences, you've been tainted. And we have the 9 of Pentacles. There's a sense of you having to do everything by yourself. Like there's nobody that you can call. There's nobody that you can depend on. It's like this road that you have hoed has been a very, very solo and sometimes lonely journey. It's this sense of, I can't trust anybody. I cannot depend on anybody. All I got in this world is me. And that's not a particularly childlike energy. It shouldn't be. So I think that that's sort of where your sticking point is. Now, what is it about yourself that you should acknowledge? We have the Chariot. Saggies, whether you believe it or not, you have come so much further than what you have given yourself credit for. That from where you were 6 months, a year, 5 years ago, it's been leaps and bounds in terms of your growth as a person and in terms of your progress. But for whatever reason, with the 8 of Cups in reverse, you can't see that. And it almost feels as though you're in the same place. You feel like you're in the same place that you've been this entire time. Like you haven't walked away from anything. You haven't sort of made progress towards something else. And so it's interesting because I don't know if you've taken the time to really look back and say, this is where I started and this is where I am now. There's something in you that's not allowing you to see how far you have come. Now, how you can sort of get out of this energy, we have the Ace of Swords. So this is really sort of taking the time, because aces are about new beginnings, but it's a very thoughtful and very sort of blunt energy, right? It's seeing things differently. It's looking at things through not so much of an emotional lens, but an intellectual and thoughtful lens. So I think that one of the first steps for you, Saggies, is to really sit down with yourself and take a good hard look at your path. You know, where were you 5 years ago? Maybe you had a job that you didn't like and you started going back to school, or you started a new position somewhere else. If you were in a relationship that made you unhappy or wasn't healthy in some way, shape, or form, maybe now you're single, but you can't see that that was progress, that you got yourself out of that situation that was negative. And so even, your thought process might be, well, I'm single, I don't have anyone now. Yeah, but you know what? You're a lot healthier by yourself than you were with that other person. And we have that clarified by the Three of Cups. Celebrate the little things, Sagittarius. Make room in your life to celebrate those little victories with other people. I think that there are a lot of folks out there who recognize your strength and maybe want to get to know you a little better, and maybe want to pat you on the back and be supportive so that you don't have to go through life by yourself, or at least feeling as though you have to do everything on your own. So allowing others in and seeing the progress that you've made, I think will help get you back to a place of excitement for what's next, back to that childlike energy and innocence. So what can you start doing to also get you out of this space? We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So the Page of Pentacles, pages in general, are naive energies. They are very, very open, I think, to possibilities. And so building this foundation, getting this fresh start that you're looking for, I think is going to require you to really, really dig in deep. And basically, this is sort of starting from scratch. This path, this advancement that you've had, this growth that you've had that you haven't necessarily acknowledged yet, is giving you a clean slate. And so the universe is saying, take advantage of that, right? It's a good thing that you've cleared out a lot of this energy. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse to clarify. So there's some thought, like there's a question I think that's being asked of you right now, Saggies, and that's, why are you being so resistant to opening up, to allowing this transformation to happen, to giving yourself credit for all of the progress that you've made in life? The Wheel of Fortune is inevitable change, right? So don't keep yourself stuck in this place of thinking that just because you've been disappointed in the past, and I do have a very strong feeling that this was being disappointed by a particular person. Like, it was hurtful down to the damn white meat. That doesn't mean that everybody's like that. So, when there are people coming in who are interested in you and who want to be your friend and want to start building a relationship with you, maybe think about allowing it to happen, provided that there are no red flags and your intuition is not screaming at you that it's not a good idea. Explore. See what happens. You have a fresh start. You have a clean slate. Now, right now, Spirit wants you to hear Queen of Cups in reverse. So with the Queen of Cups upright, this is an emotional person, right? But they have mastery of their emotions. They know who to give their emotions to, who to give their energy to. They know who to not give theirs to. And so I think that there's an element of you trusting yourself, Saggies, in terms of getting to that point where you are the Queen of Cups, where you have your emotional boundaries intact, where you only allow what it is that you want to come in and what it is that you have going out. And look, we have that clarified by the High Priestess. This is the card of knowing. This is trusting your intuition and understanding that it's not going to steer you wrong. So even the smallest little thing in your gut, if you feel uncomfortable, then you know that's your higher self telling you that this is not the path that you need to be on. So you don't need to be so worried about opening yourself up or embracing that childlike energy because you've learned. Unfortunately, it was a painful lesson, but you have learned, and you can look back, I think, and say, I ignored this, or I didn't catch this. But as you have moved, as you have grown and progressed, you have learned to trust yourself, to trust your instincts. And so I think that that's something that you might want to tap into. And don't forget, Saggies, that you are deserving of this new beginning, of this fresh start, because of the Hermit. The Hermit is a solo journeyist, whatever. It's somebody who goes on a journey of self, right? They do a lot of introspection. They do a lot of soul searching, and they come out with the answers and the lessons that they need. So this is you coming out of the darkness stronger, wiser, more trusting of your intuition. It's something that was necessary, but it's good. And this has been a long time coming with the Knight of Pentacles. Slowest moving knight in the deck, but trust and believe that when they move with intention. And they are moving to build a foundation that's going to be lasting because they didn't rush it. And so this process for you, Saggies, has been a long time in the making. It's been a slow progression, but it has been progression. And when you take the time to sit and look back from whence you came to where you are now, I think that you're going to have a greater appreciation of yourself. And you're going to say, you know what? Yeah, it's time to start this next chapter. So that's what I got for you guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.